Going on, guys? Norm Swarm coming at you guys today with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about another NFL draft prospect. It's video number 10 of my prospects, and I'm going to hit this one on wide receiver Christian Watson, kid out of North Dakota BISON to be exact. 6'5", about 210 pounds, ranges from 205 to 210. His stats: 105 catches, 2,139 yards, 20.4 yards per catch, 14 touchdowns. Yeah, even rushes the ball too. 392 yards and 2 touchdowns in 4 years at North Dakota. Even has 2 touchdowns as a kick returner. A kick returner specialist. Didn't really do any punt returning. I don't know if he did any at all, to tell you the truth. Mainly a kick returner. Has elite size, great speed, takes the top of the defense off. It's what you look for in a big body guy like that. Big, strong hands, explosive yards after the catch. You really love his yak. Not afraid to block. He's not the most willing blocker, but he will get in there and get dirty. A three-year starter at North Dakota. He can get top speed really quickly, like I said. One of those bigger guys, like, you kind of worry about bigger wide receivers that they tend to get going a little bit slower. He gets going pretty fast. He can get at that second level pretty quick. Very versatile, can play inside or outside. A return specialist, like I was alluding to. Used as a runner, he had 49 rushing attempts in his college career. Really nice vision when he's running with the football. Tough with the rock in his hands. Likes to use the stiff arm. I've noticed that when you watch some of his tape, that's like his go-to move, the stiff arm. Got those long arms. He's going to pop you in the mouth with that palm. So long frame, vertical to boot. So should be very good in the red zone, progressing through his NFL career. That's what you really like. Good football player all around. Now, with the positives do come the negatives. Now, he did play in the FCS. That's the football championship subdivision. I'm the type of guy that I don't really like to knock kids for what school they went to or anything like that. But stuff like that can't be ignored. I'm not saying it's going to knock him down anything, but it is a reality. He did play in a weaker division. It's Division I football, but it's a subdivision, so it's not as strong as the Big Ten or the SEC. But I'm not going to knock the kid for it. But it is a thing that people talk about, just like when you talk about hire other players too in this draft. Some players didn't go to big prominent schools, like Kevon Thibodeau. You talk about him. People like to bring up that he went to Oregon, but I can name a lot of players that went to smaller schools that are really good. But it is a thing that could be looked at on his college resume. He did suffer a bad injury too in 2018 on his knee. Hasn't really had any bad effects from what I've read, and so then he's kind of healed there, which is something you like to hear too. So he's got a good healing process. So good for him. Long frame, but very lean. Not too dense. Like he's a big kid. When you look at the kid, he's a big kid. 6'5", 210, 205 to 210. But he's lean. He's very lean. He maybe needs to bulk up a little bit, put about 10, 15 pounds of muscle on his frame, and I'm sure he's in the process of doing that. But then again, you got to be really careful with telling these kids what they need to put on their body. You just never know. He might not be good at 220. He might not be as explosive. He might not be as productive at 220 as he is at 210. So you got to be really careful. But he's 6'5", so guys that are like that, they can usually put on a little bit more weight, and then you just go from there and you see where he's at. He does get out muscled a bit too. That's going back to being a little bit leaner, not as strong as you would like during those 50-50 matchups. And notice a couple balls when he has a 50-50 matchup, he'll have some drops or just get out muscled. Lets the ball hit his body, I think, too much. Doesn't attack it with his hands. You notice that too about him. He's got those big, strong hands. He needs to start plucking those balls out of the air. He has done that. He has the capability of doing it. He's not always just letting the ball hit him in the chest or hit him in the stomach, but he seems to be a guy that's not really aggressive, snatching the ball out of the air. He likes to let the ball come in, have some bounces, have some drops like that. So he needs to learn to use his mitts, and then once he learns that, sky's the limit. Needs to develop his route tree a little bit. He seems like a kid that, you give him the ball right away in a short intermediate route. He likes to do the yards after the catch. He likes to do the run after the catch more than running routes. That's what I've kind of noticed about him. But he's excellent after the catch. It's just that his route tree needs to be a little bit more developed, I think. Kind of raw, but still a very gifted wide receiver. All around, he's pretty gifted. Now, you can't ignore his size and his speed. It's something that NFL teams are going to drool when they look at this kid. He's got all the intangibles, all the traits that you really want to see in a wide receiver. Big kid, long, can jump, can do a lot of things. Can play special teams as well. Like I said, he was an excellent return specialist. He's good with the football in his hand, but a bit raw, and I think he just needs some developing. He could be a guy that could be really good in his second or third year. Now, I think he's not saying he's gonna struggle in his first year, but I had him before the combine, before the Senior Bowl. I had this kid around the third or fourth round. No lie. He did have some production at school, not great, but he did have some production that could be due to scheme, that could be due to quarterback play. There's a lot of things that go on, right? Playing at North Dakota, so it just all depends. But he didn't have the greatest production, but didn't have bad production at all. He's like a utility jackknife. He can do everything. He can catch, he can run the football, he can be used in the run game. Return specialist, does a lot of good things that you like as a football player. I just think that he's going to get overhyped. He's going to get overdrafted because of his size and his speed and what he did at the combine and what he did at the Senior Bowl. He was one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver at the Senior Bowl. Blew up at the combine. He looked really good. His RAS scores, his relative athletic scores were off the charts. And guys like that get overdrafted. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad football player by any stretch, because I do like him, but I feel he's going to get overdrafted. They're talking about this kid in the first round now, possibly early second. I think that might be a bit too early, because I think he's 1 or 2 years away. I think he's going to need a lot of developing, and whoever drafts him, that fan base, and I'm sure that organization, whoever takes him, it could be us, because I like to look at kids that are possibly going to fall to the Detroit Lions, obviously. We're going to need to be patient, I think, with a kid like that. But there is no patience in fan bases. Organizations, they have a little bit more patience, per se, let's say. A little more, let's just hold up a little bit. Let's let this kid develop. A fan base never will. A fan base won't. So this kid goes in the first round, whatever team he goes to, the fan base is going to expect wide receiver 1 numbers probably from this kid right away. I don't think he's going to do that right away. I think he needs time to develop. But he's going to get overdrafted, like I said. And I think he's going to go late first, possibly second round. I think that's a little bit too early for him. And it's not that I don't like him. I do like him. I'm just trying to set a little bit of reality with this kid. We're coming to a time now in the draft where 3.5 weeks away, 4 weeks away, where reality is not it's not even a possibility. It's not even real. I don't know why. Reality isn't real. It makes sense, right? It's just we expect so much of these kids coming out. We expect this kid to come in and get 90 catches for 1,100 yards. I don't think that's going to happen. Wide receiver takes a little bit longer anyways to develop at the NFL level. But he is going to be a fun kid to watch in the pros. Even year 1, he's going to be used all over the place. He's going to be used on some jet sweeps. You're going to see this kid in the return game. Now, kick returner, that's almost obsolete in the NFL. So you're going to see this kid punt returning, and he's never really done it. Now, maybe he did it in high school. It didn't go that far with this kid, but he never did it in college. He was strictly a kick returner, but he's going to do a lot of punt returning in the NFL. They're going to try to get the ball in this kid's hands. Just put it that way. They're going to try to get the ball in this kid's hands, but he needs some time to develop. So I got him at a third or fourth grade. Let's say third round. But he's going to get overdrafted, in my opinion. He's going to go in the first. He's going to go early in the second. If he's there in the second round and the Lions take him, good for them, man. They take him. They got a kid that could hopefully be a force within the next couple of years. But I think give this kid some time because I think he's very raw. Not only because of the school he went to, just because of just his developing. His developing just going to take some time, man. It's going to take some time. He was used as a jackknife, and I think he's going to need some developing as a wide receiver. His first couple years in the league, and then this kid could be a stud. Who knows? But that's my take on wide receiver Christian Watson out of North Dakota BISON. Good football player. I just think he's gonna be a little bit overdrafted, but he's a good football player. Thanks for listening on this video, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to knock that bell, get all my videos, and don't forget to like and comment this video, share it, and let's talk about Christian Watson. Could he be a Detroit Lion? Is he going to be a force in the NFL? Time will tell. Boom, go Lions.